Welcome back to the Business Simple podcast. It's your host, James, and today I'm going to be talking about polished versus unpolished content. My take and the controversial side of it is probably diving into whether your content might be too polished to perform. So this is hypocritical. I just want to start the episode by saying that because I'm currently sitting in a room with probably $17,000, $18,000 worth of cameras pointed at me, $1,000 mixer. I've got soundproofing. I've got all this stuff. What we're doing right now is producing polished content, but polished content has a place. What I want to talk about is the opportunity that probably sits in unpolished content. Some of the things that I've seen recently from accounts that we've been looking at and clients that we've been looking at where their content's been very not polished and how that's created an exceptional authenticity and engagement. And then also I want to give some examples of some polished content that is going really well. So I'm going to start with unpolished. I think that short, snappy, authentic, engaging content is your top of funnel, if you will, with the content that you're putting out. So it's how you go out to the market, you get engagement from people who are interested in what you do, and you pull them into your account. Right? So we're thinking like, a funny one, and an example I've used in a different podcast is there was some video of me trying to do a trick on a scooter outside the office and we posted online, and then someone came into the office and was like, I saw this video. We've been following you guys for a long time. You seem really approachable. Because of that, we decided to come in and have a chat about what you could do for us. So you look at something like that and you go, well, that video has played a purpose, right? But that video hasn't been the thing that's built the trust. That video has been the thing that's sort of driven the take action piece. It's made us seem really approachable. And your unpolished content should be all based around showcasing your personality, being authentic, letting people know what you're all about. Because if you can do that in a really good way, you will bring people into your sort of ecosystem, if you will. I don't think, however, that unpolished content is the thing that gets someone across the line when they talk about, engaging with you or inquiring with you or wanting to do business with you. I think it's the polished content that gets people there. And I think about the brand work that we've done that's been the most profitable. It's been this stuff. We, for an example, put up, I believe the number's 476 posts in 2.5 months, at the start of the year. And we were trying to go really high volume and show people what it's like when you do super high volume. And I'll talk about this in a different episode, but I've learned that I believe that execution of either form of content is probably the most important part, but also understanding their purpose. I think your unpolished content is how you tell your story. I think your unpolished content is how you get across your personality. And I think your polished content is how you close. I think that if someone engages with, say, my personal brand because they see something that I do that they really like and they come on board, my dream outcome is that there will be polished content there that will then show, and like longer form content that will then show them that I also know what I'm talking about. I'm not just someone who's fun to follow, but I'm someone who's great to do business with too. And if you then can take someone through that story of them first discovering you and then trusting you, by the time they come in to talk to you about their advertising, you're most of the way there. And I have had meetings recently that have aligned with that. I had someone come in and say, I've done my research on you and you're my guy, essentially, in the first meeting. I've never had that in nearly 7 years of running this company. I've never had that once. And that is because of the content and that sort of thing that we're putting out and the quality of and consistency of what we do, especially this longer form stuff and how that all works. So I think that if your game is trying to figure out, putting out a whole bunch of really polished content, let's say you only do one video a month and it's professionally shot and that sort of thing, there's a chance it seems a little scripted, it's a little alienating to people. There's nothing wrong with grabbing your phone, shooting a selfie video like this and talking through the same thing and just testing out how they both perform differently. Our experience has been that the unpolished stuff has probably been better for reach all time, but then every now and again we drop in a really polished piece of content and it absolutely goes off. So making sure that you have a nice balancing act between the two is important. If you just post polished stuff, it's going to be really hard to get your personality across and really hard to not alienate people on the way through. So make sure that there is that mix there. And then I suppose probably the closing piece is just like keep putting stuff out there, keep trying things, keep doing stuff. And if you do that, there's a really reasonable chance that that will lead to really good things out the other side in terms of your brand awareness and people knowing who you are and that all performing. So closing note, or to summarize, it's been a little waffly, so I hope that there's been some good information in here, but closing note, or to summarize, don't just post polished content. Don't just post unpolished content. Use your unpolished phone shot, easy to record stuff to get across your personality, document your story, and pull people in. Use your polished stuff to showcase capability, let people know that you can follow through on what you say, do examples of your work, all that sort of thing. Bundle those two together. You've got the dream scenario to build a personal brand and build your business brand and grow from there. Hope you found this episode valuable. Make sure you check us out on all of our socials, subscribe to us on Spotify, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for listening.